Hi, everybody. This is Joanna. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We've called all the fairies and angels. And I did a recording yesterday of sacred sound because it's going to be part of more and more of my gifts to continue offering sacred sound and light language, the sacred song that is source creator. Because a lot of my DNA and a lot of my collective energies are multiverse. And really needed right now to press the codes into not only playing that sacred play that we're all here to entangle with and take part in and to invoke and initiate through ourselves, through our cells, through our DNA, through all that we are. And just be this beautiful open vessel of unconditional love, so that we play with these energies that Source is offering us, as well as the beauty of these gifts being brought not only in different ways, but in your exploration to make what you thought was an old gift new again. And because we're all changing, we're infinitely changing, we're infinitely spreading out into new potentiation of codes and frequencies. That spiral of time, it changes. The patterns and the codes change as we ever press out. And so your gifts are going to be changing, and they're going to be different and used in unique, playful ways. More so for the soul's growth for you in your creative expression. That's evolution. It really is. And we've offered that for a couple of years now, and healing our remembrance of our soul, who we are as an ever renewing essence of light, as we become light bodies. We are the ever pressing out of our sacred creative playfulness. That is evolution. And in any way that it has been stifled through the wounds of our 3 to 4D experience and our healing of it, is that determination, that will, that sense of self, that creative curiosity as that sacred child. As you're harmonizing the male and the female wounding, you are allowing yourself to become that creative child and press out into new bands of color and new bands of codes that we're always offered. The soul will always renew itself and offer you what it is that you need, as deposits of light and deposits of codes, so that you can press out to a new veil of encoding and templating. Templating is the vibrational code. So as you clear old codes, release it out to the creative divine relationship for it to be brought back into new codes of light, because that's what Source does. As you choose to release what no longer serves, it goes on this beautiful loving journey with Source. It's all about a benevolent loving cycle and a dance. And why oftentimes we get stuck in these ever perpetuating cycles is because we feel we have to carry things when based on how we've been brought up, and the lack of self-worth and the lack of self-value that we've had about ourselves. So we feel we have to carry things that we just don't need to carry. Once the karmic lesson has been learned, and you've taken on that new behavior of knowingness for yourself, you're adding to that sense of self, that I am present, your will of who you are. You get to press out into something that's brand new. You get to press out into something that matters to you. You get to press out into something that is your new truth. That is the creating of your sense of self, and only that comes from within. It comes from within your ability to reach out and press out, to step constantly out into zones of discomfort. Take yourself out into what used to scare you, and face that, so that it can become transmuted into something grander and bigger within the fields of the all, the templating codes. That's how we, each and every one of us, heal the all. We're transmuting all of those fears. We're transmuting all of those lack of selves. We're transmuting all that dogma. We're transmuting all of those energies that held us in such tight confines of the emotional and creative expression of who we are. The more that you heal your emotional body through creative expression, the more of your spirit self you will become. Your spirit self to be free and liberated in what it is to create with spirit, to express itself. Spirit is creative expression. The spirit is all that you are as Source in that creative play, in that creative joy. What makes you joyful? What makes you excited? What makes you want to be here? What is your gift that spirit and you blessed yourself with in that beautiful soul blueprint that you knew you wanted to come and share? And that's your creative. Yes, I get to be a kid again. I get to play again. And that's when you really live. That old that adage says that you'll never work a day in your life if you love what you do and you're totally in passion of who you are in doing it, right? It's no longer to the old world experiences and the 3D energies that we came from, going to school and you know, taking a choice from the top 20 paying jobs, and then that's what your vocation and your learning for the next 35 years. That's not the case anymore. To inspire our children, to inspire all that we are, to live creatively from this passionate place, and all will be served. And enjoy yourself in doing so. Allow that to be, you know what, this is my creative expression. This is how I am meant to come forward and play and be a creative part of this beautiful journey, because we're meant to also have fun. We're meant to be a part of something that is new, that's never been seen before on planet Earth. And we're meant to have fun doing it. We're meant to be in constant bliss. We are meant to be in constant joy. And if we're not, then we have to ask ourselves, why am I not in constant bliss? What's holding me back from being joyful? What's holding me back from being me? What's holding me back from allowing me to love me, and just put more energy into my that pure will and pure determination to create that sense of self, that I am a creative being. I will press out in beautiful creative ways. And this is what I'm really excited to tap in on. When you start doing that alignment of who you are in that sense of self through that creative expression, the awakening of the sacred child, living as the sacred child, being curious, being courageous, to creatively express who you are as a spiritual being, a mental, an emotional, and a physical being. That is your sense of self, of who you are as a spiritual being creating matter. When you're comfortable in more and more moments doing that from an authentic, sincere place, you begin to create those greater downloads and those greater packets of information and wisdom and synchronicities that you're entangling with your source and spirit. They're always there, but if we're resisting and suppressing who we have always been, then we never connect with those open packets of love that are always there. And that's why those that live the most miraculous life are in constant open allowance with source. They're flowing with that open allowance that is miracles, that is magic. When you meet, your star tribe, your soul tribe, and you meet your star mate, you meet the mates that you're meant to co-create with in magical ways, because you're open and trusting and allowing that you know what, that's just going to come forward and flow. Source will make sure. Source knows my thread. Source knows my intention. Source knows my purity. It will come forward. All I got to do is just open and be me, and be that curious child to take on that next synchronicity that they're gonna offer. And it always does. It's offered all the time, in the dreams, in the songs, in the things that fall off the shelf, and there it is right in front of you. Source is always talking with you. You're creating it with source. You are the eyes and the mind of source, as long as you're awake to it and attuned to it. You, as the macro, micro, you are it all. So whatever it is that you need in any given moment, that higher self of you will thread you in. What stops you is the ego repression of can't do this, shouldn't do that, can't do that because that's what you were taught, shouldn't do that because you got, screamed at when you were 7, whatever those wounds are, keep you from that expression of that creative flow of spirit. And no one and no thing can take that from you. That's that inner work you got to do. You've got to pull those wounds out, put it on the table, face it, and transcend it. No matter how hard it is, because everyone will be faced with, the more of a master you are, the deeper and the steeper those fears are. So just know that if it feels insurmountable to transcend that fear, whether it be addiction, whether it be, codependency, whether it be, deep psyche wounds from abuse, it doesn't matter what they are, because they're all defined in different ways based on your role that you promise to transcend for yourself. Remember, this is all about you. The all is healed because of you. So release all of those ideas and those obligations that you're doing everything to serve. Your serving is loving you and being fully you and honoring fully you and creating a fully as you. All things will be taken care of, and that's all that's ever meant to occur in the light worker experience. Yes, we have great passion serving, and we see our excitement and our benevolence in that service, and we understand that's the role that we've come with, and we've known that from a very early age. But it's truly through our creative expression to evolve. We are the pressing out of evolution, and it must come through that creative expression. But to do so, because we've been so suppressed in our society, and because creativity and the emotionality has not been honored and has not been valued, it has been depressed and suppressed because of egocentric, dominating, rules and limitations and fears. That's where we're all healing and creating those greater balances of who we are as emotive beings that create through love. That's the divine feminine. I'm creating through love. I'm honoring my emotions. I'm creating. When you create through anger and fear and suppression, that's what your reality is. So it's really important that we begin feeling the excitement of being that sacred child, so that we can feel in all of our work and all of our inner knowing of who we are as source, that I can return to center, create that beautiful sense of self, calling in the highest light codes. I know that I will be given what I needed to create the today. I know that in my path of excitement, in my path of co-creativeness, in the pulsations of my heart to want to experience this, explore this, and express this, I absolutely know that anything will be given and it will be brought to me in divine timing with the right people in the right way for my soul's excitement. Source above all, and this is, I've been getting this message for the past couple of days, above all, above all, above all. Source is ecstatic and blissful and joyful in the seeing and the excitement of you receiving such joy, excitement, and bliss of you. Does that make sense? There's nothing that makes source creation happier than you being happy in you. Creating as you, purely in integrity with authenticity as you. That's why you came. What parent is not in utter joy when their kids are playing in the playground, being their highest and best self? Running, at the highest speed that their legs will ever carry them. And they're in joy. Gaia is in joy. You're in joy just watching them. The whole world is made better because of those moments of sacred play and sacred oneness and sacred excitement and sacred co-creation and sacred expression and just going for it. So this is where we are now. We're preparing ourselves. 2021, boom. Let's gather, let's commune, let's create, let's create this light. You see how the light just shows up just when we say that. This band of light that we are all here to co-create with. The threading of light together, so that we can create a higher vibrational experience for all. And that our light will shine through those dense and dark pockets that are meant to be brought up, to be sorted out, and to be made right. We are the ones that bring that resolve. We are the ones that create the light within that which was hidden and that which was dark, that was not working, that was suppressing and keeping various beings and people in subjugation and suppression. That's the healing of control and limitation. That's the healing of it. And it comes through doing it ourselves first. In what way are you controlling the spirit? Are you suppressing spirit? So spirit is your creative expression of love. That's spirit. So if you're suppressing it because you were taught not to, or because it wasn't okay to express your feelings and your love for people, even though you were so caring and kind, then that will be a warped sense of spirit. And that's when you get into addictions. Because the inner part of you, the inner soul of you, your sense of self, your sense of soulness, your sense of oneness with source is that creative expression, is your ability to emote, your ability to feel freely in emoting. And that's that heart chakra, all chakras, all that you are as a multidimensional being, allowed to freely be with source. So how are you controlling and holding yourself back? Regardless of the systems you come from, because that's part of it too. But at this point right now, you have every power and everything within you to take what you are doing within you and just break it open and say, I'm going to shake up today. Today, I will express freely. Today and this week, I will allow myself to be in oneness with my soul. Today, I will allow my sense of self to come forward as a greater creator, as a greater expressive creator. And I will express my truth with freedom. I will express my truth with pride and joy and excitement. Because I know it's for my better health. When I'm expressing myself, every density is just shaken off and done. You'll feel difference. Play with the vibration of your expression and how you feel before, how you feel after, and how you feel during. You don't have to trust anybody, and it doesn't have to be anybody else's truth. You just feel it. Feel source, feel spirit and your creative flow. That's a truth for you. When you're creating with Gaia, that's a truth for you. Feel into it. How does it feel? When you're around experiences and others and energies that don't feel good, feel into it. How does it feel? This is how you're creating your reality. Tune in to how you feel. That is your sense of self. Yes, I know that. I recognize that. Yes, I noticed. I recognize that. That felt really good. Yes, I noticed. I recognize that. I'm going to honor that. That is you as spirit, not suppressing anything, but honoring it. That's that dance. And then you get to pick and choose, and that dance will guide you to ever greater dances and guidances, and also templates of play that you are co-creating in this, knowing and aligning with your sense of self, your highest guidance, your highest counsel. That is source creator. That is sovereignty. So that all of those confines and all of those subjugations and all of those suppressions just break away, and you start creating a whole new reality. That's how reality is created. It's not waiting for others to create this outside reality and you just step into it. No, you create your own reality. Otherwise, we'd all be step back behind the gates, and we'd all be waiting for everybody else. There's nothing wrong with that. That's an expression too. But now we're at the point where we're awake. We absolutely know we're multidimensional. We absolutely know that spirit is all things. We absolutely know that we can begin to entangle in brand new and special ways. We absolutely know that we are the way showers, that we are the fishermen that help others fish, so that we show them the illumination. We show illumination through our loving compassion, our loving guidance, but not doing the work for them, not taking others' burdens on, not fixing anything for anyone, but standing in the light and say, you can do this too. That was all Master's most profound message. You are this. Don't follow me. Don't worship me. You are this. Worship you. Worship who you are as source. Worship who you are as the creative elegance of source. You are this. You are so profound. You are so elegant. And that is the alchemy that happens inside that just breaks away all those veils of fear, and they get taken away. It never ever disappears. It just gets transmuted back into what source deems appropriate. I mean, that's the joy of source. Source is just like, yeah, bring it on. Nothing is beyond the hand of source. Make no mistake about that. Miracles will be shown. Make no mistake about that. Miracles will be shown. This is a truth. And how can you live in that truth? Today, a miracle will be shown. And I am the one that creating that with source. I am the vessel of love. I am the vessel of love. I am the vessel of love. I am the miracle to be shown for me, for no other reason but for me. That is your birthday present. That is your Christmas gift. That is your festival gift. That is your greatest partnership. That is your oneness with creation, is you with you. Make no mistake about that. It's not to become the most well-known light worker. And anybody that has anything like that in mind, they're still working from ego. It's to be fully as you are, how you are, for the reason of you being you, for the expression, experience, and exploration of you as source, you as source, you as source. That's it. All will be brought to you. The benevolence, the blessings, the abundance, whatever it is that you think you may need or want, they don't become important anymore. They just don't, because you fully live as soul, and that's all that matters, is living in the expression and the joy of the moment. That's it. As you do, your gifts will come, the healing will come, the miracles will come, the blessings will come. All of that interaction and all of the minutia of the miracle, source will create with you as you just flow in the elegance of spirit, creating and expressing. You have no idea what's going to unfold. It's not for us to know that. Just for us to be playful children, to be the bliss and the ecstasy of source. So profound, so simple, right? So simple, right? As you're working through a basket full of fears. So we are going to create some sound. Sacred source. Bring it, bring it, bring it. Let's create source. Let's create some sacred sound. We're going to see if we can get the most energy from the sun. Let's go. The Holy Mother and the Holy Father on all of the beautiful sacred Gaia. Sacred Gaia, sacred Gaia, sacred Gaia. So remember, if you see any fairies and any energies from the Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, please note it in our beautiful fairy tracker that we always have in the comment field. And we're going to have our website landing page open with just a few basic links. That will be open and available soon. And as we launch it, we'll explain where we came from, the beautiful new name of our website that I'm so happy to co-create as a divine feminine, creating divine feminine sacred script and bringing the divine feminine wisdom and intelligence and power back to our planet. The divine feminine energies of the holy goddesses and the holy mothers and holy energies of all timelines and the miracle makers that allow that soft and beautiful, gentle elegance of who we are as spirit. Spirit is the gentle flow of love. Spirit is the gentle flow of our co-creation. One of the most challenging vibrations of ascension and mastery is allowance. Allowance is the moment for moment presence that we hold with source, so that we're not controlling outcome in any way. We're not controlling creation in any way. We are merely being in the center of our vessel, opening the portal of all that we are. Our chakras are in alignment. Our chakras are spiraling in the holy Christic energies and all of the codes that are being guided to us and offered to us and blessed to us and bathed with us. And we are basically an open vessel of love and an allowance of love, not shutting it down, not closing it off because you're in fear. These are one of the biggest vibrations for creating and manifesting a 5D reality is allowance. Allowing the love of all that you are, allowing the grace of all that you are, allowing the miracles of all that you are, allowing your worthiness, allowing the value of you, allowing the love of all that you are, allowing the blessings to come to you, allowing to know that you're worthy of that worthiness. And it's all allowance. Can you allow energy to flow through you without hindrance? Can you allow energy to live through you without resistance? Can you allow energy to live through you without control? And that control limits. Control limits, control limits, control limits. It just does. Control is one of the most harmful vibrations of the cells. That is why we have been in a devolved state for eons. So we are breaking it open. We are shaking it up. No more control. Let it go. It's an illusion. All there is love. We are the law of one. We are the law of one. We are the law of one. What vibration can we allow? The highest vibration is love and oneness, joy, ecstasy, bliss. Forgiveness, compassion, compassion. I love all of my divine sacred family and oneness and sound and beauty and benevolence. We are one. I'm calling in oneness. I'm calling in oneness. My vessel is a benevolent essence of love. I get to create sounds and honor and sacredness for who I am. I get to center myself in the sacred benevolence of who I am. I get to create this beautiful understanding of open and allowance with source so that I can be the most vast vessel of potentiation that I could choose. Every cell is an open, vast potentiation for new, greater cell growth, cell light. My cells are creating a beautiful oscillating acceleration. Through breath, I intend love. Through breath, I intend my union. Through breath, I intend my communion with source, my higher self and my soul, constantly renewing me. Constantly renewing me as light. Renewing me as light, renewing me as light, renewing me as light, renewing me as light. The intention is sacred play and allowance. Sacred play to be our most expansive, vast being is of all that we are as source. In this moment now, we come together as love. In this moment now, we come together as sacred sound. In this moment, we break up what needs to be broken up. And our teams are knowing that everything that is meant to be offered and blessed will be. That there is no needing to manage the minutia. There's no need to manage and control the outcome. There's no need to manage and control what you receive. Just open and be light. Open and be light. Open and be light. You're an infinite being of holy light. You're an infinite being of holy light. The intention is love. The intention is flow. The intention is creativity. The intention is allowance. The intention is to be that sacred child of joy and bliss. From whence you came, you will return, moment for moment for moment. From whence I came, I will return. From whence I came, I will return. I trust this. I'm one with source. There is nothing source does not have my back, and surrender. Ete anaya kete atisi yatakaya anaya take maya anaya kaya take siya. Hey anaya kete se anaya kaya anaya kete se anaya kaya take se anaya kete se anaya. Hey anda kaya na se yana esi anakateke se anaya e teke yana te se yana siat siat moya te esi ma ne ma tia sia mo nia e maya siana te anaka Hai shi anai itke ama ke sia sia it ke she ananaka ya sio mai it ke shi sia ka mai it ke na na ka sia sia ai shi sia ka ma shi sia sia mama mo ka ke shi sia mai ke shi sia pai mama mai shi sia Atike shia tatika mai tka nana shia mai ke shia shia mai ke shia shia take hai amai shia take hai shia tatika take shia tatika take shia tatika Siana na katke shishiatka sia Thank you so much. Wow, that was so amazing. That was so amazing. That was so amazing. It feels like this happened to me yesterday and the video got deleted because I deleted it before I uploaded it by mistake. I'm so grateful. Thank you, universe. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. They've been showing me for the past couple of years the energies of Gaia that are shifting and changing, and all of these threads of energy that are coming in that I know about and I remembered when I was a kid. Just playing with them, being that vibration in that field of flow, right? It's like a river of energy that just flows. And I don't know if you guys maybe write comments down below, but there was like what the only way I can feel it is that all of these beings of energy elementals that are wanting to get through to you, it's like this big huge party and dance of communication through sound from other planets and stuff that were just being placed into the field, because it was like all of these these family groups of different celestial beings and different guides and different elementals on the earth and the fairies and all of these energies just coming through as this beautiful song. And it's called the omnipresent song of oneness, and that is Source Creator's foundation of love, and all of the groups through life creation come together and create through sound and harmonics of Source Creator. And that's why releasing the only intention is just to open up and be that center of love and be that center of presence of who you are within that love, and have Source create with everything else. And that's what I've been learning, not because there's been all of those ideologies about not being good enough and not understanding, maybe it's not practiced enough, maybe I have to be better at it, all of those things that I've been working on, so that I can just allow that love language, that song language to flow, because that's when all of that oneness happens. And it's hard for me to express what I experienced, because again, we don't have words. It just felt like a huge what is it called, the orchestra, the celestial orchestra that's living through me. And I can, I'm learning to just flow with allowing whatever sounds come out to come out, because again, they're from different planets, different celestial, different aspects of consciousness that need, if you imagine a vibrational field, it's an infinite matter of web, like your mental field is a meshing of light, of vibrational songs, if you will, threads. If it's all blocked up because there's density and darkness and all of those things, those ticks and clicks, they break off that calcium and the density. other codes and sounds are codes that go into, so that you can pull from them and you can remember things. Part of it is within the galactic audible that I've been awake to for many years, that I taught about for the very first time when I went to Japan. And I taught the beautiful, beautiful beings and my beautiful family from Japan, my sacred brothers and sisters there. Thank you. We're so threaded together. And the dolphins and the whales and all of the consciousness that is source creator, that source says, okay, we're time for a new template of light. We're time for a new creative template. Those of you that are creators, those of you that are crystals, those of you that are template makers, through the divine mind, the divine eye, not my will, but the will of God, just be your creative self, and all of those codes will come together, and like the puzzle pieces, they just fit. So that is the celestial orchestra. It is that constant pressing out of evolution through sounds and songs and codes that is source creator. And that is one of my gifts, my most passionate gift. That's why I'm always singing, is to create through sound and to create through the divine mind, the divine eye. And that's when really why mastery takes as much practice as it does, because it is the practice of divine reverence and humility, and really tempering ego, because ego stifles in every way, and that's when those cycles continue to be returned. And why that sacred creative child is so important, just to allow and just be playful with your creative gifts. So just know that I absolutely know that a lot of that sound, of course it's for me because I have fun making those sounds, but that sound was absolutely, there was 2 or 3 pockets of celestial groups that came to live through me through that song, that were meant for those who view this recording. And they were absolutely saying, we're here, finally we get to speak. So there are codes in whatever was said that you will be connected with, and I'm getting goosebumps everywhere. So feel free to put comments in the field, and just allow those activations. Usually when you listen to it, feel into the excitement. And if you feel like listening to it again, that's okay. And then give yourself time to integrate and be outside in that integration. Take deep breaths and say, I'm integrating the codes, I'm integrating the sounds, I'm opening to my Godhead, I'm opening to the celestial beings that came through to me today, and just allow that integration. And then take the next day and the next couple of days and 24 hours in reflection of those integrations and how differently you feel. Really honor that sacred process. And that's how you get the feeling for the cycle of how you are transmuting, and just being open to becoming that greater light, because that's what those codes do. They break what was and they open into greater light. And some of them were messages just of love from your families and your celestial families to say, we're working with you, tune in, here we are. And you'll know at the highest consciousness state, whether it's through a dream, whether it's through just feeling happy and joyful in nature. Many of them were working with elemental groups, so right on the land of Gaia. So those that absolutely love nature work with flowers and all that you're meant to connect with, because those are the languages that were coming through to say that we're here. So they're showing me right now that they were celestial merging with the elemental groups for their highest, because we're being, this month, over the next month, is going to be a massive, massive month for healing. This massive month for healing is the intention that we are all being the celestial energies of our connecting with the celestial and elemental groups, and all that we are is sound and source. So allow yourself to just know that you've got all this, you've got this. You're allowing all that you are as source. You're allowing all that you are as elemental and spirit and celestial, all of these energies of all that you are, to come forward and live in new ways, to come forward and be your higher self in new ways. And just allow the activations to take place, allow the activations to flow and be all that you are as source. And that will come forward, and it will present itself in new ways, whether you feel like journaling or writing, just creating light language. These are all the activations of your minutia, of your growing, right? And just allow it. Again, allowance is so important. So just know that many of you who's ever listening, there were absolute celestial groups and consciousness that are working through the conduits like myself in channeling form in the galactic orchestra, the oneness of the song that is source. And so I was so excited to bring that forward to you. It just felt like a huge channeling, a group channeling. And consciousness groups of like beyond numbers that we understand and know, because some of them, all of them, most of them are in energy state. They're not physical being state, but there are physical consciousness that we're working through those threads as well, because remember, it's a harmonic, and it's through your heart intention that you connect with that harmonic song through source creator, and that is through allowance. not putting blankets and pockets and threads around it that say it must look like this, it must be like this, it must come out like this, or it must be interpreted like this. No, multidimensional light language and song is interpreted in an infinite number of ways and cannot be placed in a box. That's source. So trust how you feel. Trust sitting in that sacred space of, I'm receiving a sacred gift from source. I'm receiving the sacred healing. I'm receiving whatever source needs to be to receive it. All of my celestial families, all my multidimensional families are in this presentation of sacred sound and light. And I'm so grateful, so grateful, so grateful. So thank you, dear lighted ones. We hope you have an amazing day, and we hope you love all that you are, allow all that you are to be the sacred love and light that you are. And I'm so blessed and so excited to be a part of this beautiful experience of our sacred oneness and allowance for our 5D templates and our 5D light bodies. There goes Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. Yay! We love you. We love you. We love you. Bye. Go be shiny. Go be shiny. I can't see the off button. It's so shiny.